Bernie Sanders, is going to run as a Democrat but not accept nomination. Okay, the Vermont senator announces his complicated re-election plans for another term. Okay, Bernie Sanders is running for the Democratic nomination in Vermont, but he won't accept if he wins. The famously independent senator who briefly joined the Democratic Party to run in the 2016 New Hampshire presidential primary, only to unenroll later, officially announced Monday he would seek a third term in the Senate this fall. He also said that he'll put the same maneuver that he did in his 2006 and 2012 Senate races, running as a Democrat, declining the nomination when he wins, and then running as an independent. The move makes it virtually impossible for another Democrat to seek the party's nod, and it allows Sanders to loom large in the party primary in August, but still preserve his independence. Good, 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 and good. And, you know, even if you're not a fan of Bernie Sanders, and I know some of you guys aren't, I've disagreed with him before. You know, we all have. But here's the thing. Here's the greater theme here. There are so many rules stacked against progressives, and there are so many ways that the Democratic establishment favors the establishment and the powerful and the corporate Democrats that are they're Republicans. They're basically Republicans. I mean, they are Republicans. They're conservatives in denial. They're cappuccino conservatives, as Marcus likes to call them, and I like to call them. So here we have somebody who's powerful enough to play the game to actually favor the progressives. So he's doing it, and he's been doing it, and he's doing it unapologetically. That is a good thing. That is freaking cool. And, you know, again, let's see here. Is there anything else to this? The Vermont Democratic Party passed a resolution over the weekend supporting Sanders' move. Yeah, because they all like him. Proclaiming that he could still be considered a member of the party for all purposes and entitled to all the rights and privileges. Well, guess what? He doesn't need them. Bernie Sanders is the only politician in the country that a party doesn't need, or excuse me, he doesn't need a party needs him. He is the only politician in the country that is applicable to. He really is. And I don't understand why he didn't go to draft Bernie. I wish he would have. I was there. Obviously, I wanted him to. I was there. I think it's because he plans to run in 2020. Otherwise, I have no idea why he wouldn't have just went with Draft Bernie and started a new party. I don't know why, unless he's planning on running in 2020. Or, and I had this theory recently. I think that, here's the thing. With us, with most of the people watching this stream, and with myself, a lot of us, we're aware of what's really going on with this two-party system. How the game is rigged, how the cards are stacked against any type of progressive change, and how it's not a coincidence that the party with superdelegates are the Democrats and not the Republicans. That the party with a DCCC type setup are the Democrats. It's because the Republicans are already openly a party for the 1%. The Democrats, they got to be more subtle about it. And that's why we have a one-party system. And that's why I feel like we need a new party. Because we need a second party option. So, but even though I feel that way, and chances are everybody watching this stream feels that way, there's still a lot of people that aren't aware of that. There's still a lot of people in the world, or in the country, well, I guess in the world too, but in the country that don't understand why you wouldn't just go for the lesser of two evils, that don't understand why incrementalism isn't good enough. And they need to be taught, they need to see it's not about incrementalism, it's about the game's rigged against you. It's about the will of the people doesn't matter. And if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, nothing will ever change. That's what it's about. To people watching this stream, to me, that message may seem obvious, but to a lot of people, it's still not. So, for any type of progressive movement to succeed, I think there needs to be somebody on the inside that is putting policy forward, and when it doesn't get the support it's supposed to get, it's unmasking the establishment. Right now, that guy is Bernie Sanders. That's who's doing that right now. It's Bernie Sanders. And maybe, and again, I'm just speculating here, I don't know, but maybe he realizes that's the role he's got to play. Because, yeah, to us, it's obvious. To us, we don't feel like we need that anymore. But our group's still small. And I need to remind myself of that sometimes. I'm not, like, trying to lecture. I mean, I'm talking to myself in many ways, because I need to be reminded of that sometimes. Because sometimes I'm guilty of hanging out in my little Southern California bubble. Or when I go around the country, it's for a Jimmy Dore show or a progressive comedy tour where I see a lot of like-minded people. So sometimes I forget that there's still a lot of other ideas floating around in this country. And we still need a lot of people to come around to our point of view if we really want to change anything. So yeah, and I don't know if that's something that Bernie's totally... I mean, I know Bernie is very smart. He's been doing the work for 40 years. He knows politics better than most people. So maybe he realized that's the role he's got to play. And, if he ever said that, if he ever was like, look, this is the role I got to play. You guys got to take what I'm exposing and run with it. That's your job. That's what you have to do. This is what I have to do, and that's what you have to do. I think that makes sense. At least to me it does. But, in the meantime, I'm glad when he can actually make the rigged system work in progressives' favor instead of the opposite, because that's what it usually does. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.